just
They're
being rude.
tits round here.
And then we just get pocket challenge in England too, mate. Fucking hell. All right, time it is. Let's get the show on the road. Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine through the rain. Good morning. Morning. It's the morning motivation time. I'm your host with the mostest, Marky Saint, and this is Saint's Addiction, and we are in England, mate. We're in England. Check it out.
Run down.
All Victorian era. All these homes have the same look as San Francisco. We're trying to track down what it's like to be down the middle of the street of a rainy day in England, and the sun's just starting to come out. So I was like, you know what? Now it's time to start the morning motivation, baby, and get motivated. We are super motivated. We just picked up some herbatry, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we get to smoke weed around the world and hang out with my friends and be a part of something different, a different culture. And that's what I wanted to talk about today was different communication. It's one of those things that we get stuck in our own ways. All of us, we only like to be treated a certain way or be communicated with a certain way. We get pretty stuck in our own ways. And what I like about this is it makes me do something different. It makes me see things differently. So I don't get to just be in my own head, and I don't get to be in my own vibe. I got to wake up at a different time. Challenges, what does this mean? What does that mean? How do you say this? How do you say that? And it's been quite the blessing, to be able to go around the world and touch so many different cultures and how people talk and walk and what's their rhyme and reason and what's their flow. So it's like when things get out of flow, right? Miscommunication happens, and this is what was happening the other day. Mate, is the park over this way?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a lap. I'll finish the show. I'll be right back, Fred. Let me finish the show. All right, perfect. Hey, I hope you have something ready for me.
Yeah, go down and
give me some directions.
until you get to Henderson Street.
We have a Henderson in Vegas.
Yeah.
All right, mate. We are in it to win it. My friends are saying, you finally got some sunshine, Saint, bring some with you. And I did. It's been raining all day. So, of course, I grabbed my shit. Do they even here it is. Communication's a motherfucker. When you're up against somebody that's had a bad day. I kind of still ago, the lady, I came up to her. She's working. Was kind of sassy to me, and I was like, what the fuck's up with this sass, right? And maybe I'm interpreting sass, but the other guy was helpful. I was talking to him, and he was like, obviously saw I was from America, obviously didn't know what platform I was going, and the other was like, platform 2, just this real sassy, mean platform 2. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm just another human being. If you're working in the public, you might want to not be so rude. And there's a smiley face on the wall. But that's what we end up doing. I keep talking about the attitude. It's like our preconception of people. If we think people are being rude to us, then we're going to be rude to them. Our defense mechanisms that everyone has to cope with life goes up. As soon as you're triggered, mate, you're off to the races, really, aren't you? And that's something that I started to notice when I was going around. It's like, when I'm calling myself out, let me call myself out and say that I was the one that was getting all bowed up. Yeah, I would find it. I was like, I don't like the way you're talking to me, so I'm going to start setting you straight. I'm going to start regulating. I'm going to start shaking my head. I'm going to start having all the things that are an emotional reaction would do. A person that's trying to bluster up, like a whoop whoop whoop, like you're turkeying, you're busting up all your feathers and you're flared up, right? And I was sitting there instead of taking the piss, I was taking the piss. I was taking offense, taking the piss and taking offense. It's what we end up doing as people. We end up isolating ourselves. This is going to be dope. I'm taking you guys to South Park. The park is actually called South Park, but how amazing. But how weird is it when you don't get a chance to be the type of person that you want to be? All of a sudden, you're childhood trauma show up. And oh, there's Henderson Street. How funny is that? I'm gonna have to take a screenshot of that. But how much of us like let childhood trauma motif that we are not to be fucked with? And of course nobody wants to fuck with you if you're, if you're no fun to be fucked with. Let's turn this around. Henderson, I press that button twice every time. There it is. Welcome to South Park, Darlington, UK. I can't believe this place. Henderson Street goes right to this amazing fucking open ass fucking amazing ass park I got to show off, and I'm not turning around. My friend said, mate, we got the best park for you. Say that way you can go in and go see and love your life every day and do your morning motivation. Do you see the hug? That's so cute. Hold on. It's so weird that they have these blue tiles with all the glaze on the ceramic. It's crazy. It's super slippery and it's always wet. Hug. Anyway, here we go, bro. Your boy Saint taking you to South Park. Look at all these old signs and shit. We were here yesterday, but I didn't film any of it. But I'm about to show my life all the way around. Look how big this thing is, May. I love my life! Yes, they love their lives too. They might not love their lives over there, but I caught one person. Oh, man. Even on a cloudy day, the sun's still showing out, and this is me on the walk in it. Let's get this thing going. Boop, boop. Turn it around, baby. All right, so welcome to Darlington Borough Council. That's litter. It's not trash. It's not rubbish. It's litter. The litter bin. So anyway, I walked over here. I'm gonna walk through the path and show you guys what beautiful Darlington looks like. Does this guy got a frisbee? Oh my God. So us as humans, we're flawed, right? We are looking only through the lens of our brains, and our brains have experience, and then it's going to filter it to what our expectations. And that's so weird that our whole lens is through expectations. Oh my God, I love walking here every day. The flowers are coming out of the trees. I don't know if you guys can see this, but let me go up to it. It's so gorgeous out here. I'm going to show you more flowers. I'm going to go all the way down to the river, but spring is in the air. How gorgeous it is. And we talked about transformation this last 2 weeks, but to become a better communicator, always be don't take anything good morning. Don't take anything personally. And a lot of people can't wait to take things personally. They only see things personally through their lens. So they become myopic instead of biopic. And that's something I always talk about, being optical and having your optics work for you instead of against you. Oh, see, here's the white ones too. Man, they really planted some awesome trees here. Look at that. Just look at beautiful spring. So we can decide to spring forward. We can decide to be, look how big this fucking tree is. Our better version of ourselves. And this is a decision we talked about yesterday, but a lot of people, like I was saying to the girl, she was doing the shit test, and giving people shit is only going to get you shit back. And a lot of people, they wonder why people are talking shit. And I was like, well, have you been judgmental? Let's be honest. Were you talking shit about someone else? Are you being critical while you're talking about people? I was on the train and I heard these girls, and they had American accents, so my ear picked it up. But normally I don't hear conversations, but the chick wouldn't shut up, and she was only a couple seats behind me. But and then he said he wanted to marry her, and I think they were only together for like 6 months, and I can't believe she was doing this. And then she would be sneaking around, just totally bashing some chick none of us fucking knew, and wouldn't stop bashing on her. I love how these things are like the exact same. Like, it's so trippy. But anyway, that's what we do, bro. We think that by putting our non-perfect lives and non-perfect lenses over, glaze over the lens, right? And show something new. It's our perspective. And it warps everything around us. If we wanted to believe that it's just going to be a shitty day, I might as well stay inside. I would have never waited for the sun to break the rain. You know what I mean? And wait for that break to take place. And that's something that we don't do. We expect things to be smooth. And when it's not smooth, which is shocking to me, when it's not smooth, we throw fits like a kid, as if like, I'm going to get my way is going to get your way. As if being sassier or bitchier or dickish is going to make people see you in a different light. It's not. You might get your way once, but you lost the war. And that's so true to me, man. I was like, what the fuck's going on in my life? I was losing wars by starting battles that didn't have to take place. And that's something that's in all our heads. There are these battles, these triggers. I think this thing's cool. So I want to take a picture real quick, but I'm going to show you some skank ass fucking bathrooms they got here. I saw here the other day, I took a photo. I don't know what used to be here, but this thing was made in 1858. Fucking hell. And then look at these bathrooms, bro. They got the smiling dickhead up against. Look at this bathroom. Anybody need to take a shit? Let me know. All right. So when you're in your life and you're in your head, you tend to be only a certain way, right? And in our world, we can choose to be a different way. We can choose, like this one has a resting bitch face on. And it's like, why? You're in the park. You're supposed to be happy. This guy over here with his dog, I can see him smiling and he's far away. That's what ends up happening to us, right? We end up getting in a mode and not leaving the mode. And then people that play video games know when they're on fire, and like they got the super B button, as I call it. They press the B button and get on the other things and do their own things. And that's what I've been telling people about. I wanted them to. What an entrance. Fucking England is all pop and circumstance me. What the fuck? So welcome to South Park. Be careful of cyclists. Here's the glacier. So fucking cool. Welcome to this glacier boulder of sharp granite was removed from the river trees of Winston and placed in remembrance of Taylor Manson FDS. But look at this, beautiful. In it, they got the river and the stream right next to it. The flowers are starting to come out. Someone specifically planted tulips and flowers around here. Welcome to South Park, y'all. Welcome to South Park. Look how big this fucking place is. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take you to the Avery. I'd never heard of what an Avery was. I love how these trees are right in a row. But an Avery is a spot for birds. It's like an animal sanctuary that they got in the middle of this place, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. So, and welcome to England in the morning mode. Just a little bit of spring is right there in the air, and if I'm around for this week, I hope to see more blooms and blossoms and things like that. So anyway, my thing was to get right by people, and to get right with people means you got to get right with yourself. If you're already thinking that a person is after you and they doing their own thing, and you perceive to be slighted or that things are not going your way, plastic pocket challenge, that things aren't going your way, you end up taking an offense, a pre-offense, and that's something that's really unfortunate. Good morning. Yeah. Someone's got to. Yeah, so, and we're on it, and we get up to, and look, that's where Poppy Jean's school is, apparently, with the soccer field, real nice. But, yeah, mate, we're on it, and unfortunately, looks like it's a vape pen. How fucking funny is that? But, in our minds, when we are not knowing that we're in a mood or we're just in a zone, and we stay in these zones that keep us in our own zone, to break free of a zone, to break free of mental slavery, to stop thinking the way that you're thinking is almost superhuman. Oh my God, I'm gonna show you the birds too. There's geese and everything over here. You're gonna love this. So anyway, little birds chirping and everything. The idea was to get more control over my mental, and my attitude. And it was a lot of self-discipline. It takes a lot to switch up what you were thinking to something different. And unfortunately, we're not very changeable. We're very habitual. And that's what I keep trying to switch with Saints Addiction, switch away from my addictions, my habits, my rituals, and become a new version of myself. Like, how hard was that? Let me get this plastic out of my pocket. Boom. So, I just wanted people to be able to see themselves with real eyes and realize that they're telling lies. Like, you're already taking offense to something that wasn't meant to be offensive. How many of us have done that? Oh, well, I thought you said something else. Yeah, I've said that a million times. Well, if it's that case, and then I'm already showing my teeth. They talk about, but when you're fighting tooth and nail for something, it means you're fighting like an animal. You're using all your weapons, your teeth, your claws. You're just ferocious. And when you're acting fierce or sassy, you know what you're like. Everybody knows when they're giving a sarcastic remark. Look at this beautiful city. A sarcastic remark, or not being right by people. Before I show you this next view, this 420 real quick. Welcome to Token Aroken Worldwide. I'm near Moy Marky Saint, the individual spokesperson for Roken Vapes. It's clogged. Mm, mm, mm. Come on. Unclogged now. Bit. I think it's around that way, but we'll take a walk real quick. We got 14 more minutes, so let's do a 30-minute show. These trees are absolutely gorgeous. Life is absolutely gorgeous if you let it be. Some people, they just don't want to let it be. And that's something that we end up doing. We try to change things, right? We're trying to check boxes. We're trying to make sure that things measure up. And I try to remind people that no one is perfect. That was the whole theme of Saints Addiction. It's like, you're going to make mistakes. That's a beautiful fountain over there. You're going to be mistake master just like me. And there's going to be some epic fails and some tails. You know, you're going to have to say something as we go around this pond. But in our lives, how many times have we misinterpreted ourselves or got emotional or got triggered when it wasn't even meant to be that way? It could have been smooth. It could have been shiny. And what did we do? We acted more rude. They're not even scared of me. Look at them. Isn't that beautiful? Swans. I guess they're Canadian geese, eh? I don't know. Never seen them before, but might be some cold weather. And that's a seagull. Look at the moss on that tree. It's beautiful. With the smoke. So for us to, yeah, it is a Canadian goose. Canadian goose. A coot. A mute swan. A goosander. A mallard. A grey lag. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know I'm talking about communication. I do know that I think things out of sorts, and if I get in the mood, I can be rude. This fucking thing just took some of my beard out, but I'm just trying to remind people to be mindful. You know, be mindful of your actions. Be mindful of your words. I called this chick a sassy bitch, but I didn't mean it with bad intent. I probably shouldn't have used the word bitch. She barely even fucking knows me, and I shouldn't have said curse words. And, you know, I think people can get comprehension. So we talked about you can have communication, you can have comprehension, right? Or you can have, what was the other? There's 3 C's, the comprehension, or you can have communication, comprehension, and I forget the other one because I just got high. But there's a lot of that in our minds where it's going to be hard to get all 3. And then for the other person to comprehend it. And then what was the other 3C? I can't remember because I'm lit, but look at this. It's just gorgeous. Fucking hell. So it's one of those where our lives are interpreted through our minds, and our perspectives are locked in there from childhood to adulthood. Oh, an experience, and your experience is the filter. And if you've experienced something and you go, you know what, I don't want to do that part anymore. I want it to be a certain type of way. And a lot of people that isolate themselves, they'll be like, well, if it isn't this way, then I'm not going. Or, you know, the isolation, the judgment, the pre-calculation of I have to be protecting myself. You know, I've been hurt before. So I put it like this. I'm like, so what? You've been hurt before. What you gonna do, shorty, when it's Lewis and Clark and the path ain't made? What are you gonna do? Just turn around and be done with it? Oh, it's too hard of a pass. I'm sorry, I can't go on the Oregon Trail. No, you're gonna have to boldly go. And that's been the theme this whole week. You have to boldly go and try to boldly communicate with people. I love this tree. This tree is amazing. But being able to do those things, I wonder if they got the whole photo. Look at that family. Should I help them? They're probably doing it themselves, isn't it? That's amazing. This whole thing's amazing. So anyway, I'm gonna take you to the Avery. It's fucking nice. Can't believe they have a whole animal sanctuary over here, and kids with dogs and friends and franks and family. It's quite the park here, mate. I'm like, spare no expense, but you know, do we spare um, do we spare tolerance, right? Do we spare understanding? Do we have any patience, which I don't usually, for people to develop? Or do we just assume that because we had one miscommunication that it gets thrown into the bin? And that's a pine tree too. And that's our throwaway culture. You know what I mean? He's got it. In our culture in America, if it's got one rib, I was seeing a guy, good morning. I was seeing it, and the guy was had like a burnt hole from like smoking cigarettes. A little ash had touched his jacket. In America, or in our world, now you got to throw away the jacket. It's ruined. It has one imperfection. Down the shit pipe it goes. It's amazing how they grew it all in here. But here's the Avery right here. Plenty of parrots and weird stuff going on in here. And that's what we end up doing. We frame our mind into positions and we get stuck in those positions. It's like being stuck on one play in chess, you know? There's multiple plays made, you know, and each play that you make adds up to the next play. So if we're to play correctly or competitively, right, it would help be impeccable with your word. There's some roosters in here, if you see them. Isn't that crazy? And some ducks. It's amazing with the sunshine in there. Please not feed the birds in the Avery. This is what an Avery is. Isn't that amazing? I've never seen one in my life. My first time, and now I'm talking about it like I've seen it a million times. Good morning. And that's it. They're probably all hiding out because it's raining, but here's some parrots right here. Oh shit, he just flew away, but that's a parrot right there. All the birds in the Avery. So, you know, give yourself a chance to start giving other people a chance. You know, it's because I'm open-minded that I get to go to these places, my friends, and stay with them and trusted to stay with them. Good morning. Yes. And be able to see them and their days and their lives, the way they eat, the way they operate, and make it a whole reality, you know? And most people don't want to live in the same reality. They want to match and assimilate and be like everyone else. And I'm on the belief of, I want to be different. Man, I want to be a master at communication. I'm sick of fucking miscommunicating with people. I can stop taking offense so I can start taking understanding. Stop taking offense and start taking understanding. There's a lot between the words, between what we say and act. There's a message there, and it can be interpreted many different ways, and it's all up to our moods to not be rude. Isn't that fucking cool? I'm gonna take you over here too. So that's what I'm thinking in this conversation about communication is I'm reading the book, The Art of Negotiation. So anyway, good morning. The Art of Negotiation is a cool book. And then there's the Power of Seduction by Robert Greene. Also chipping away that at the audiobook. But that's us, man. That's us having a style about us. There's ways to say things to get different reactions. There's sales techniques. Look at them holding hands. How cute are they? There's sales techniques. There's all sorts of little nuances that help us adjust as people to become better. Good morning. Or afternoon. And for us to become better people and get better reactions out of people. You know when you're being offensive, and you know when you're taking offense, and all those things add up to us just missing. You know, we're missing the point. We're missing the point of human interaction and connect. Oh, connection was the other one. 3 C's. To be able to connect with each other. To be able to say, you know, I understand you. If nothing else is sexier and more of a bond is our understanding of each other. You want to really turn a girl on? Understand her. She wants to be interpreted. She wants to know when you're being horny or being angry or being sad. She wants to know that you can tell what's going on with her without her having to explain it to you, which really makes no logical sense at all. But that's what women are. They're emotional. This isn't a logical thing. It's like, can't you tell something's going wrong with me? And it's like, actually, I can't, because I'm not a motherfucking mind reader. And how many arguments kept going that way? That's the communication I'm talking about. It's always about something. Good morning. And it's always the way that we interpret things. So I just keep trying to remind people to take their blinders off and see how they act in a situation, right? And see how you react. You know, they say a lot of this stuff is not about how reactive person. I'm like, if you're gonna talk shit to me, I'm gonna give you the riot act, man. You're gonna catch these hands. And why am I throwing hands with a stranger again? Why am I getting all blustered up and building walls and fences and good afternoon and then able to get all, look how they planted this. So cool. I don't know if you can see that, but there's rows of flowers along the edge here. I don't know if you can see it, but they made it like a little pattern on the hill. Sweet. But you know, when you're by the creek and everything's nice on the day and you're looking at flowers, sure, you're going to communicate better. I'm sure you are, you know, like that's the easy part. But what about when, did I do that right? Yeah. But what about when, is it? Yeah. Pushing around. What you going to do then, shorty? What are you going to do when you're being rude? How do you correct that behavior? Got my friend, she's on anger management and she doesn't want to acknowledge it. She just wants everybody to do her bidding and be head bitch in charge, but the world doesn't bid to her. And that's why I come try to explain to her. I'm like, you can't honk your horn to intimidate people. You can't demand service or people not to be rude. It's going to happen again. And what you need to do is control yourself so you don't blow off your side mirror. Holy shit, I didn't see this yesterday. We'll do this, but to blow off your own side mirror because you're angry, you know, and anger teaches us. I get taught by my anger. There's always something that checks me. I lose a child, I lose a girlfriend, I lose something in that battle when I really want to win the war that's inside me. And if I stop worrying inside myself, I start winning. And I start winning it with my interactions with other people too. So that's a big thing that we all have to, you know, fight against or check ourselves and get reminded of, and all the goods, you know, of our lives are in front of us and they're happening every day. And the way that we choose to interact and our attitudes towards it dictates how it's going to be. So it is really up to you. That's a nice little rose garden. I bet it's going to be blooming. This reminds me of Portland. Wow. But yeah, that's going to dictate how our lives are going to be. And that's our choice. So I hope that you chose differently. I hope that you choose for better and not for worse. I hope that you find it within yourself to be the best version of yourself and stop sabotaging yourself or sabotaging conversations or possibilities of relationships because it's not perfect and neither are you. So stop trying to pretend like the package is coming the way that you want it and start making the package the way you want it. That's this morning's motivation. So on my heart from the start, it's your boy Marky saying I'm fresh off of England. I'm in the park. I got a fucking pee like a motherfucker. But other than that, thanks for shining with me. You feel me? Thanks for shining with me. It's a blessing for all of us to be here today and to be alive if you are and got to make it another day. How awesome is it to be able to live our lives without having something strange? Well, I mean, I want weird, strange, and different, but for us to be able to live in this experience. So I point at the sun. I got it all covered up. It's now shining. It went from rain to shine, and so can your mood. So that's Saint's Addiction on my heart from the start. It's your boy Marky Saint. Peace and love. And as always, Chigatan. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And you will start hearing some Finnish next month when I'm in Finland. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the other side.